Hi, I'm Bran.
I said we can go.
And I love Hallmark movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark movies.
I'm Ryan. I despise Hallmark movies for the purposes of today's program, I suppose. I don't know.
And this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Wow. A
Smooth
monumental day. A monumental day. Everybody get your emails ready. Dan@deckthehallmark.com. Let him know that you are disappointed in him. That he is a disgrace to his family, his friends, and everything. Dan@deckthehallmark.com. Flood his inbox. Let him know that he's a dirty, dirty traitor.
That's right.
A dirty, dirty traitor.
Yep. Always. It's finally the true colors.
For people out there that think that he's like missing this because he's on a family vacation. No, he's not. He's golfing. He's golfing.
Yeah. Like a bougie upper cruster.
That's exactly right. He's golfing. But we got Ryan. Ryan, hi, buddy.
Hey!
A little better, I'd say.
Hey, welcome.
I would say this is an equal trade, if not coming out in our favor.
On top, for sure.
That's really sweet of you. I will. I'll try my best to fill the chair. And maybe I'll do Rig at some point.
Oh, Rig, are you there? Nailed it.
Sounds a little under the weather.
I do feel like I have to address the elephant in the room for people that are watching Philo. I am wearing long sleeves, and I am wearing shorts.
Shorts and long sleeves.
This is a vibe that I don't necessarily like.
He cried about the temperature for months.
This is true.
It gets a little
I have to be honest.
I
I like to think that I am pretty easygoing. That I go with the flow. No one's laughing, so that does make me feel good about that. But the one thing that I have zero tolerance for is the temperature. I don't like it to be hot
nonstop.
I by and large hate summer.
You're in the right place.
And so when we moved into this new place, one of the things that we didn't really realize before is that we no longer have control over the temperature. Because we're in an office complex, and it has been problematic. It has been hot, very hot. There have been days where they literally just said somehow the heat got turned on and wouldn't turn off,
and nobody could explain.
And no one could explain it. Well, today, as I think the first day the air is kicked on, and I'm very cold. I'm very cold.
Throw blanket.
And now
it's a cool look.
No, I don't think it is.
I like it. Well,
I don't know.
Aaron explained it as you wear jeans with a short sleeve, so this is just that, but the opposite.
It's the inverse.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I said I wasn't going to wear shorts anymore. I've already broken that so many times. I'm sorry. Philo.tv/DTH, though, to see me look like a total dweeb.
One of the options was a throw blanket over the legs.
I know. Maybe I need that.
Maybe a DTH blanket's the move,
Ooh,
and then
people have been requesting DTH blanket. I just don't really know how to make that happen. You gotta find some. You gotta find a blanket
person,
blanket guy. I don't have a blanket guy.
Blankets are us.
You have a blanket guy?
Yeah, it's rough. No, I can make some calls, but not offhand.
You might have one and not even know it.
I got to be honest with you. I do feel a little naked on the head, not wearing my horse hat when I'm talking to you.
I was gonna say just with me. Well, we did 10 episodes of The Way Home.
I know, since then we've done 10 with the horse hat, and now it's just.
If you want to wear
it,
I mean, you.
I don't. Although it would keep me warm.
It would help with the heat.
It is.
Maybe just put it over one kneecap, and then you'll be 75% of the way
I'm not asking for people to call me a hero, but now that people know how hot it has been in the studio, I just want people to thank me for my service. That I wore the horse hat for 10 episodes while burning up. Yep. I could have died.
Don't you wish?
I don't think I was necessarily close to death. But I could have.
But you could have.
I could have.
In a specific scenario. So just to clarify, clarify, though, you do prefer this today, hoodie and shorts, versus what you've been doing on most days where it's been sports.
My motto in life has always been I can put on more clothes, but I can't get naked. So, like when I am in the place of work, what I have on it, I can't get rid of that. No. This is a place of work.
And we shut it down.
I know. Harry Reinhold would be on my case. I can't do that again.
No, not again.
So now I
like that. That's been your motto in life.
It really has been. It really has been.
You haven't lived until you've seen Bran walking away from you and only a horse head.
Yeah.
Tell you, that's all I can say.
Yes, sir. But my point is I can't do that anymore.
That's right.
I've been told I can't do that. So because of that, I would much rather put on. I love a script. I love a nice cozy.
Yeah, of course.
I love a good cozy. So I'll do this any day of the week. We're talking about what is it called?
Just wedding season.
Wedding season.
I believe it's just wedding season.
Just wedding season.
That's right.
To kick off June weddings.
Yep.
Oh, this kicks it off. That makes sense. I'm looking at the calendar.
Yeah. Welcome to June. Yeah, welcome. It originally aired on June 3rd, 2023, and it went a little something like this. So we're at a photo studio. There's a photo shoot going on, and some might say that it's wedding season, professionally and personally for Trish. Trish works for a magazine, and she was helping with this photo shoot. But what she really wants to do is write. Yeah. She wants to be a hard-hitting investigative journalist, and she tries to pitch some ideas to her boss. She's like, I think that I should be a writer. And her boss says, all of these ideas are hot garbage. And plus, you're going to be gone for the next 3 weeks. Why should I even consider you for a writing job? And Trish says, yeah, you're right. 3 friends, 3 weddings, 3 weekends. What can you do? And her boss is like, that is something you should write about. And Trish's response is what I think all of our response is, but she says she will do it, and so she's off. And so she heads to wedding number 1. She sees her best friend that I literally only know by the name Peterson.
Yep.
I don't know his first name.
You shouldn't.
His name is Peterson, and that is as good as gold for me. Now, what I didn't realize at the time is that he's one of the people getting married.
Oh, yes.
At the time, I thought that this was the guy she was going to end up with. Like, hey, we're best friends. And that really goes to how close-minded that I am. When I see one guy and one girl together, I'm like, well, they're going to end up together. Can't a guy and a girl just be best friends?
Apparently.
I don't know. But they are, and I love that for them. Anyway, he's like, hey, you should go to these weddings with my brother. His name is Ryan. And she reluctantly agrees. What? Ryan? No, you're not. No, it's a different Ryan. It's a different Ryan altogether. Now, they don't really get along all that well. He's always globe-trotting. And they are already off to a real humdinger of a start. They destroy the first dance record, as you have on your person, the record that you're going to use for first dance at wedding. And so the hunt is on. They are going to try to find this here record. And they search high and low. They can't find it. Ryan surprises her when he shows up at the wedding with the record for the first wedding's first dance. He found it. What a hero. They dance, and then he ends up catching the bouquet. Isn't that silly? Just as everything is going great, one of the weddings gets called off because the groom got a job in London, and the bride said, I don't want to move to London, Pitt. So Trish and Ryan decide, these two are meant to be together. I think if we just put them in a room, if all the conditions are right, they will end up talking and being, back together. So they trick them into going to the restaurant that they met at to sit down and have a conversation. And it's going great. They're holding hands and they're like, job well done. We did it. They did do it, but not in the way they thought they would, because they come back, that bride and groom, and say, hey, we're still calling the wedding off, but we're happier about it than we were. sometimes right time, right people, wrong time.
Sure.
And that is actually what we're going to do for this reception because we can't get that money back. So we might as well party, which I appreciate, to be honest with you. Not enough people do that.
Yep.
Not enough people do that.
I agree.
And so they have a right person, wrong timing reception. And Trish and Ryan really dance this time. It's hot. It's heavy. They are getting close. They go to a party at a beach and they paddleboard. And they do are you allowed to say Eskimo kiss? Is that?
I think Harry. Yep, he's cool.
What?
Eskimo kiss.
A genuine question. I thought that I heard that you can't say Eskimo kiss anymore.
Oh, like insensitive or something?
Yeah, like to the Eskimos.
Oh.
Can you find that? Okay, they do they do a butterfly kiss.
Is that a butterfly kiss?
I don't want to pee off the butterflies, but I think that's. The butterfly enthusiasts, they don't kiss like that.
They did that? They did a butterfly kiss?
They did it they touch noses first for a little while is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And then they slide into the kiss. They do a little.
Like
yes.
Like swans?
Yes. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They do kiss though, to be very clear. They do kiss. Right person, right time?
That's right. That's one of those cases.
Let's find out. It's not the right time, guys. He gets a gig. He has to leave immediately. He's going to go shoot pictures of the Aurora Borealis of the South.
Sure.
Which
is called the
Austria Borealis,
something like
which
that.
I didn't know was a thing.
No.
Did you know about this, Ryan?
Sure. It is actually a thing.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
What makes something a thing?
A thing, I suppose.
I imagine. I don't know why they would make that up.
I think it's a thing now.
Aaron, can you do that research? Did you?
Did
so
you,
we got
Aaron?
Eskimos. You have to look up.
Yeah, add it to the list.
And the Southern Aurora Borealis. Got it. And so he breaks the news to Trish and asks if they can try again.
Can you just bump the temperature up a couple clicks while you're at it?
Can we try again when I get back? And she's like, no, you're being a little beehole. So
that we probably cannot say.
No, we're not going to try again. You're leaving literally right after your brother's wedding, not even saying for the reception. So no. And so he ends up staying. When faced with that, he says, okay, I'm staying. Woohoo. They're at the wedding. They do the reception. And she finished her story. And we know what it's about. Yep. And we know that it's a great story. And we love that for her. And she finds out that weddings and love are cool. That's something that she didn't know before. And so I love that. She and Ryan kiss while they dance, and she finds out that she's news to Ryan. They find out that it's going to be the feature for August, and that, my friends, was wedding season.
Wedding season.
Yeah,
man, so much happened to you that you didn't know about.
What a journey.
Yeah, this changes everything.
Your girlfriend's going to be real mad when she listens back to this.
Yeah. We can keep this on the
Who's
DL.
trash?
Come out.
That's not what your girlfriend sounds like, but
she might
when she gets
situation.
mad. I haven't heard her get mad, so
that's true. That's true. But maybe at Bramblefest, but hopefully not.
Yeah, let's try not to make your girlfriend mad at Bramblefest. Let's swing for the fences here. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll break down wedding season without Dan. Again, that's Dan at DeckTheHallmark.com to email him your disappointments here on Deck the Hallmark. Aaron, do we have any updates on Eskimos or the Southern Borealis?
I am looking at Eskimo kisses. It doesn't seem to be like it's super offensive.
Okay.
Because it is what they do. There are names for it in the Inuit language that I am not sure how to pronounce.
Right.
But it is not exclusive to Eskimos. There are many cultures that do a nose kiss.
Okay, wonderful. Listen, I don't know how large our Eskimo listenership is, but I do want to be.
Hallmark.com
But I
if you
do
would
want
like
to be.
to.
Aaron, can you get the Eskimo listenership?
We get a really
Yeah.
detailed breakdown on listenership, and I don't think I've ever seen Eskimo on there, but I do want to be on the up and up here. Let's talk about wedding season, the movie about weddings and the seasons.
Sure.
Brian,
Yep.
Brian, let's start with you.
Hard B.
What you think about this movie,
Yeah.
wedding season?
So I love this idea for a movie. I love an ensemble. That's always a good time. I'm always encouraged by that. I think
Are you a bigger fan of ensembles or prequels?
prequels, origin stories.
Origin stories.
Oh man,
There's a difference.
oh boy, yeah, the sure is. If I had to pick one of those really quickly, I would pick an ensemble.
Good.
Over and over.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah, thank you.
It's on the board. Number one answer.
Yeah, keep it up there. I think that's where this felt a little short, though, was with chemistry, unfortunately. We spent a lot of time with the couple that was breaking up. That seemed to be like a central focus here. Rest in peace, obviously, to their relationship.
But they're happy about it.
If they are happy about it.
Right
they
people,
are.
wrong
They are.
time.
They are. It was unfortunate for the situation that she was in, writing this story that we clearly, obviously, we know what it's all about and the point of the story and everything like that. So I don't need to get into that. But I think that we spent so much time with them. I noticed I didn't mind when I wasn't with the other characters. And I think that was not great. I feel like I should have missed them when I wasn't with them. And I didn't. And so I think that either maybe more time with them or maybe better chemistry amongst the group would have helped. Which I feel bad saying that because you hate to bash the chemistry that in a group, which is so important. We were hard on the name of this movie being so generic.
Yes.
In our preview, but it's after a book. It's based on a book.
Great!
And it's called The Wedding Season. And
as long as it's based off something.
Yeah. So it wasn't just let's pick the most generic title. It's based on the book, and obviously I've started the book. Audio.
You
book,
have?
Obviously, and
Get a job.
This is part of my job, right?
Okay, you're right.
It's much spicier than the movie.
Whoa.
I'll tell you that right now. And anybody, very spicy, very, very spicy. And anybody who's read it or is familiar knows what I'm talking about. So I was kind of like hoping for more chemistry. I do think this is a great idea for a book series, though, because you have so many couples involved and so many different, relationships to kind of stick with throughout the series. I'm enjoying the book more than I enjoyed watching this movie. And I guess that's great in one sense, but not so great in the other. So I thought, it was just okay. And a bunch of fun wait whats I'm sure we'll get to, which will be a really good time for everybody. And that's kind of where I landed.
Yeah, sure. The better name for this movie is Weddings Every Weekend. Unfortunately, that was taken last year, and so I hate that for them because the title of this movie is it's just gonna get lost. I'm not gonna remember the name of this movie for the life of me when we get to like the recap or the ranking episode. And we're like, which one was that again?
Yeah.
Was that like Weddings Every Weekend Part the Deuce? This movie was fine. I think my biggest problem with this movie is that I just don't understand what the story is that she's writing. And what it could possibly be about. I kept like trying to figure it out. I'm still super foggy on the deets there. It's a pretty tough go when you're writing a story about 3 weddings, and so 33.3% of the weddings don't happen.
That's some good quick math right there.
Thank you. And so that's from watching Shark Tank. Whatever. There's a person who wants to be a third. That's tough. That's tough goings. Maybe someone can explain it to me. Maybe I'm just dumb, but I was pretty foggy on the details of the story and why that could it could possibly be a feature. But I like the 2 leads fine. She kind of struck. I've never seen her before, I don't think, but she reminded me of a little Amelia Uhlerup. Like we haven't seen her in a while, and so they're like, let's get like someone who's similar. But overall, a fine time. Not going to be at the top of my list, but it's also not going to be at the bottom. Probably just right there in the old middle, just like the title of this movie. Ryan, what you think, bud?
Oh, okay, yeah. I think that, Brian, I think you hit on a lot of what I was thinking, which is that I thought it was an interesting twist that 33.3% of the weddings don't
mathematicians
happen.
over here.
But I did that even before Brand did. But ultimately, it resulted in us, like you said, in spending a lot of time with characters that I didn't particularly care about. I also think it was a big ask for us to have to, in 2 hours with commercials, invest in the main character having about 7 different friendships. There was no way we were ever going to feel invested with every single person and her dynamic getting married. The 2 leads had nice chemistry. The dialogue in this film wasn't great. The Patterson stuff was not for the old Rye guy.
Cringy for you.
Yeah, but Brand, to your point, I don't know what the article was about either, and I feel like what she read at the end of the film would have been about, I don't know, half a page of text. But I thought the sentiment was quite lovely. So, I mean, it's a quick feature, but the main dynamic worked. The rest really didn't. And if you want Dan's thoughts on it, email Dan and you can go
Dan@Hallmark.com. The nice thing about this is knowing that Dan is still going to have to watch this movie for the ranking episode. Yeah. So that does bring me a little bit of joy. I do appreciate that. I think but the story, the article is just basically like how not to be a dinkle in a relationship. Is that basically it? Like forgive, etc.
Yeah. I guess like what she learned.
That's what I took away from it. But as a writer, I don't know. It's very that takes a lot of setup for the writer to explain to you. I don't know. It was murky. It was murky.
Let's get to the feels though. Any feels to be had, Brian?
Yeah, fall feels, if you can believe it. I was looking forward to. I mean, this was clearly not filmed in summertime. This was either spring or fall. There were no leaves on the trees. It was like, it felt so gloomy for so many of the shots. Like it just didn't, and you could tell like they tried to plaster the scene with flowers and make it bright. And then immediately in the background, it was just dark and gray and dark green. So it just didn't feel super summery, which I think would have helped a lot. Like the aura of it would have, could have come through. I had wedding cake feels. They kept showing delicious looking wedding cake. Yeah. Now that I've said it out loud, I know what we're having for lunch, I think.
Wedding cake? We're going to the wedding cake restaurant?
Yeah, that one. The real feels.
It's called wedding season, if you can believe it.
I believe it. Was Peterson, the little brother Peterson, talking to big brother Peterson about, and it was Sean. Sean was the little brother.
Sean's his name.
Yeah, Sean's his name. They actually had the conversation about like, don't hurt my friend. Like, she's my friend. Don't mess this up. And I was sort of like getting knots in my stomach, if you can believe it, thinking like he's not gonna address this and like say to his brother, don't mess this up, because I'm like, he's gonna ruin, if this relationship goes sour, the friendship is OVA, if you will, OVA. I think.
Why would their friendship?
It just could ruin a lot of stuff. Like, how it's hard for, when a friend group is together and a couple forms in that friend group, it's kind of like hard to keep everything the same as it was before. And I was afraid they weren't going to address it, and they did address it in a little scene, and so I was glad about that. That kind of gave me feels.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't know. Anywho, yeah, my feels was I love a good like place to just like sit and like just feel it, like just feel it, like this is good. Yes, and I love a good like a dock on a lake. I love that. Yeah. Lights all around, man. That's a place where you just go down there in the morning with your coffee, spend some time just like getting ready for the day. Man, that's what I'm talking about. Nice I'm all about that. I love a good place. Sure. Like this is my place where I just kind of like, this is my place. I like that. Ryan?
Would you go there with your wedding cake?
Could. I would. Yeah. I mean, I could really do anything there. I could eat. I could think. I could dream. I could pray. Maybe eat. Maybe all of those at once.
Wow.
Oh man!
Explosion of just feeling.
That's like 33.3% of your daily activity right there. Yeah.
Okay. You're not wrong. That's really good math.
That's great math.
Thank you. Brian stole my big one. I thought the scene where Sean, I learned his name.
We love Sean.
Yeah, we do.
Sean, right up there with Janine from Ride. It's where like you don't usually get that beat, to Brian's point, in a film like this. It probably would often be forgotten. I like that. So he articulated that very well. Good job, Bri. And past that, the lights at wedding number 1 were lovely. So There you go. Yep.
So you guys liked that conversation between the brothers, where he was like, "Hey, don't hurt her."
Yeah, I mean, granted, it's still the reason I liked it is because we knew that there's only 14 minutes left in the film. We knew exactly every beat that was going to happen, but I feel like that beat between them would often get overlooked in a flick like this. So I like that they included it.
Yeah,
I think it's just maybe it was like maybe it's my upbringing in the church where you're like not allowed to be friends with girls unless you're married to them. But like my thing was like if my brother said that to me, I'd just be like, why don't you marry her? What like back off, guy.
It's either marry or nothing.
It's either marry or nothing.
I had a really
nothing
close
in between.
friend who was well, actually I've had a lot of really close friends who were girls. It was completely platonic throughout high school.
Yeah.
And like she was dating a close friend of mine. Like we were just
we
really
don't
good
do
friends.
that. You don't do that in the church. You don't do that at youth group. Youth group, it's very much like, hey, if I'm talking to you, it's because I want to marry
like
you.
dibs,
like
right?
it's very that's it. So my thing is like, hey, don't hurt her, and I'd just be like, all right, guy, just if you like her so much, why don't you just marry her?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know you're getting married to someone else. Patterson. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll get to the wait, what's, and the what the Hallmark here on Take the Hallmark. Data@thehallmark.com. Transgressions.
You marry her.
Why don't you just marry her?
Jeez.
Huh?
You had
Why
your
don't
time.
she like?
Mine now.
You don't think those two good-looking people ever like at some points were like, hey, do you want to? They probably
Patterson.
Maybe
and
they
Peterson?
maybe Patterson. But with those nicknames, those two people never were like, hey, if we're both get to 30 and we're single, you don't think they had a pact? There's no way. There's no way. But also, let me tell you about my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Well, I gotcha.
Let's talk about the wait what's here. Any wait what's to be found,
Yeah,
Brian?
I'll breeze through a few here. So just an actual record, like I don't want to harp on it, but it was weird. It's a weird move. And it's so risky. Like, and it must be so expensive to find a DJ who's like, yeah, I definitely will carry around just cases of records and play them at wedding. Like, it just seems like such a hassle, an unnecessary hassle to go with records. I was definitely confused by the writing assignment and what it ended up being about and why it was being rushed. Like, the whole point was to experience 3 weddings, and then the editor was like, just finish it. I don't care what's going on. Just finish it. Which seemed like, do you want this about 3 weddings or not? That phenomenal doc you referred to, I mean, it looked like they had multiple docks, but not a boat in sight.
No.
Like, borderline criminal.
There was a dock leading up to the dock,
Yes.
which I really like. Usually it's a walkway to the dock,
Yes.
but you had to cross one dock to get to the
you
other
have a dock, and then there's a full other dock.
Full other dock.
And it looked like another dock on
But
the
don't
side.
you dare park your boat there.
Yeah, there's no
by the
spot
dock.
for a boat.
What do you think this is, a dock?
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think? We have 3 docks here. And then I think at the end of the movie, the bride and groom got onto a boat and were gonna float away, but you never saw the boat. I just want to see a boat, like a boat. Come on.
I just want to see a boat.
Like,
is that too much to ask?
Like, you're on a lake.
Can a guy just see a boat every once in a while? Is that too much to ask?
There are a lot of boats in the book, Bri?
None
boats.
None boats. So they went as far as and you don't spend any time so far on a dock. I mean, you're near there is a lake house in the book, but it's not a big part like this was. It's just like, show me the boat, get it over with. Let's just see, like, how big's that boat?
Show me the boat.
Show me the boat.
And then the photojournalist gives his speech, like he gives its host. He's a photojournalist. Like, that's what he does. He has great photos. He speaks about photos probably really beautifully. And he shows 2 pictures, and then he's done. I'm like, I want to hear this guy talk about these photos that he has of his brother's wife, all this, the fiance, whatever, throughout the relationship. And just to top it off, my man Peterson, at his own wedding, he pulls suspenders and a belt.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Like, amateur hour. The suspenders and a belt. Unnecessary. Like, do the suspenders or do the belt. We're not doing both. It's embarrassing. Like, I'm watching him out there on the dance floor.
Like, is that like hoodie and shorts, suspenders and belt?
Kidding, man.
Hoodie and shorts. There
You
were
don't
hoodie and
know-
shorts
you
in this
guys-
movie on the beach.
You guys joke. You don't know
You don't
how
know.
insecure I am right now. I've never felt more uncomfortable.
You feel
and like
naked. You might
I've
as
been
well be naked.
I've been shirtless on this show.
You have.
I felt better being shirtless, and that's saying something because that's a mess.
Yep.
Doing that
tie.
than what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but but
Maybe
I'm
throw
comfortable.
some suspenders over
I'm
it.
comfortable temperature wise, so that's
Really
good.
nice hoodie.
That's a really great hoodie. Shout out to
Philo.
Philo. I have a few, if you guys don't mind. This movie starts off at a photography session. They're taking pictures, and they say that this is the worst photography studio in Brooklyn. No, as if it is. As if it is. I've been to Brooklyn many a times, and I guarantee you there are some shady photography studios in the back of some rando's apartment somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
There are worse photography studios in Brooklyn. This is a beautiful,
Yeah.
open,
Yep.
nice windows.
Yeah.
This place is dope. You should be happy. Like there's no way that's the worst photography studio in Brooklyn. I've never heard this before. At a wedding, the wedding's not started yet. You're mingling, you're doing some stuff, and someone comes over the loudspeaker. The wedding's about to begin. If you could all go ahead, like you're at a Broadway musical, and it's like
Yeah.
the show is
Shuffle on in.
going to be no flash photography. What was that about? That was new to me.
In the woods. no less.
Boy howdy, everyone! There is the final wedding. They're getting ready to prep for that, and the bride is stressed because there's no gluten-free cupcakes within a 200-mile radius. Are you in the freaking ocean? Like, how is that possible? There's no gluten-free cupcakes within a 200-mile radius. That's not just like 200 miles to the east.
Yeah.
That's a full circle, boy. In
with the
any
geometry.
direction, good freaking luck finding a gluten-free cupcake. No way, no how. It's
That's
just
right.
dogs, no cupcakes.
And no boats to go venture
You mean
out.
that in this 200-mile radius, the only way that this is possible is if there's also no regular cupcakes? Because I find it hard to believe that there's no gluten-free cupcakes in a 200-mile radius.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild. I have two more if you don't mind. Hey, how rich do you have to be to bring your super nice camera out on a paddle boat?
Yeah.
That's just like fun money. Like, hey, I'll bring this camera. If I lose it, no big deal.
Sure.
If I'm going out on a paddle boat, I'm like not bringing anything valuable because there's a 100% guarantee that I'm going to die because I can't swim.
No keys.
But also, I wouldn't bring my camera. Even if it's strapped to my neck, there's just too much that could go wrong. You're on a paddle boat. You're on a paddle. If a boat, again, this is to your point,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
boats. But
Yeah.
if a boat did go by, causing some sort of wave ruckus,
Yep.
forget about it.
Yep.
And while we're talking about saw Wave Ruckus live, by the
Yeah.
way. I was underwhelmed personally, but that's just me. Maybe I
It
saw
was
him.
up and down.
I
It
saw
was
him
up
at
and down.
the worst venue in Brooklyn. Yeah. Really quick, while we're talking about paddle boating, why try it? Why do it if you can't do it? This is a classic example of, like, if you don't have the money to make something look good, just like move that scene somewhere else. Like, why did that kiss have to take place on a paddle boat? Because the far away shots of the paddle boat looked atrocious, and then the shot of them in the water, they're not even
Not even in the
remotely
water.
moving. They're clearly in front of a green screen. It just didn't look good. It takes you out of the movie.
Yeah.
Just move that scene somewhere else. Like, having it happen on paddle boats doesn't do anything unless it looks really good, right? That's my thing. Whenever there's like something that's happening, that's like, before we just do it, before we underpay somebody to do this job that we should be paying more for to make it look good, can we do this somewhere else? Can we just move it? Like to, I don't know, a dock. Like maybe they're on a dock and they have their first kiss, seeing as how all their big moments happened on a dock. I don't know. That's just me, though. Ryan?
So there's that worst photography studio in Brooklyn, right? And they're just they're in front of the like the backdrop, and then they're green screening them, and it's the worst green screen effects I've ever seen on these pictures. And Trish and her assistant are like super proud of it, and it was troubling. The three couples are having a launch party for their wedding.
Yeah, you know how you do.
Yeah, a product or a marriage. Yeah.
Like, and then there was about roughly 35 people there, and there's three wet. The math is not. That's the bad 33.3%. Michelle goes. This is the one who doesn't end up getting married. She goes to Trish. Why did they assign this article about going to 3 weddings in a row to you? Well, I don't know, Michelle. Maybe because she's the one going to 3 weddings in a row.
Oh.
That was a silly question.
So you're going to be gone for 3 weeks. You're going to 3 weddings. Hey, Tanner, get in here. Tanner.
You're Britain, right?
Hey, anyway, you can go to 3 weddings. She's got a really good idea. She can't write for piss. Can you get Tanner? You go out there with her? Go to the weddings? That'd be real great, bud.
Thanks, Tan.
They're on the docks, all of them.
On the dock.
Like docks, right?
All of them. Yeah, that's where they are. I understand we have to tell a story here, right? But wouldn't the first wedding groom just have given the record to the DJ for protection?
That's what I'd do.
Like because he's like, I want to keep it a surprise. Well, you know who your wife 100% is not going to bump into between now and the wedding? The DJ. I understand we have to tell a story. But
also, is that song not on streaming anywhere?
Well, he wanted I said this to my girlfriend. She said that he wanted the effect. He wanted but they don't even ever look at the record
My thing
player.
is you can absolutely fake this.
100%.
Pull out literally any record and then just be like, hey, DJ, when I give you the wink, press play. Yeah. I'll put this random one on. You press play on the Spotify, and we'll, movie magic.
It seemed like a open and shut case for. I mean, whatever. His intentions were pure. And then this one, last one. This one made me mad. She's talking to her boss Trish on the phone, and she gets told that she needs to hurry up and finish the article. Except only the first wedding had happened thus far.
Like,
so, I don't, and that's where I was like, well, I don't understand what this article is.
That was a pretty big breaking point for me as well. I think this is something else that we don't fully understand
made
here.
No sense.
But you've been to one wedding, you've been to them all, right?
Yeah, just fill it in, fill in the details.
I've been to one. I imagine what the other two will be, similar in structure. But then one doesn't happen. I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't.
I'm
3 weddings, 3 weekends, one doesn't happen. You do the math. Let's go to What the Hallmark. It's where we wonder what could have been, that would maybe happen, give some clarity to any questions that we still have. Brian, what are you still wondering about, buddy?
33.3 if you're
okay, great. Thank you.
So
you're late to the party.
When the original plan was all in place, when everybody's getting married, so you have one couple. This is 3 consecutive weekends, right? Is that how it was supposed to happen? So the first couple, I assume they're invited to the other 2 weddings. So they're putting their, so they can't go on a honeymoon for 2 weeks, and they're sitting around back to their regular lives. Same with the second weekend. They're waiting another. So is everybody delaying their honeymoons, or are they all honeymooning together? Like that, just the logistics of
How
that.
peeved would you be, though, if you were like, we're going to not go on our honeymoon until after the third, like if you're the first wedding and you're like, well, we'll wait till the third one, and then the second one gets canceled, and you realize, man, we could have been on our honeymoon the whole time.
And been back in time
for the third wedding. That's right.
Holy cow. It's just kind of reckless. And the other thing I was wondering is Casey Diedrich, who played Ryan, he actually rides a motorcycle on his Instagram. He's got a lot of stuff of him in a so I'm wondering, did he get the Tyler treatment and get to ride his own bike, or did they not allow him to ride his own bike? Because there was some motorcycle riding in this flick.
I mean, Tyler had to fight for that. Yeah. So
this guy's a big dude, though, so kind of intimidating. And he's a singer in a heavy metal band, or he was.
Really?
So I feel like this guy can throw around some weight and kind of do whatever he wants.
I liked him. I thought he was the strongest part of the flick, honestly. Yeah, I thought he was good.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest one is just she sent it in. It's going to be the feature. I am at a loss for what could be in this thing that's like feature worth. And she said she wants to be an investigative journalist. This is nothing like that. Like, so just a lot of questions about the overall article itself and what it could possibly entail. That would be like, man, when this needs to be front and center, hot and heavy, wedding season. Yeah. Ryan?
They should release the article.
They sure should.
Yeah. Like how they're making like the Ant-Man book. They should release this article.
Yeah. Oh, they're making the Ant-Man book? That's a good idea.
Oh yeah, it comes out in September. Yeah. Brian stole my big one. I had the same exact thought. I actually think that would be the more interesting film, is them trying to figure out how to put all of this together in 3 consecutive weeks. Think that could have been interesting. My only other one is I want an origin film on the rise of search engine Rapid Fox, and that thus concludes my what the Hallmark.
Searching for what was it? Second career was just like. Oh, nobody mentioned that one. That was a good one.
Second career.
Yeah. Rapid Fox knows what
Rapid
you're
Fox. The thing about Rapid Fox is it really knows you. You have to put in a ton of information about you, and then it will spit out. AI. It's really, it's like Chat GTP's.
Fox are intuitive creatures.
Yeah, they sure are.
They know what they know.
They sure are. Not enough people are talking about that. We did, everybody. Congratulations. Big fun. Ryan, thank you so much. You did a wonderful job filling in, and it was way less negative. We're going to be back tomorrow. Brian's going to be joining me for a Deck the Life from a Court with our guy Patrick. He'll be in the on the second where Ryan is now. Is where Patrick's going to be. And then Dan will be back on Thursday for some Up TV action, and then the three of us will cover Dancing Detective on Friday. Big fun, big week. We'll be in Kansas City later this week. It's going to be so much fun. Can't wait for it.
So how are we going to be here for Friday?
We're flying back and forth. Duh.
Obviously.
Like some things you have to do.
Yes, I understand.
But until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.